IEM Shootout 4. I think it's 4. And all 6 of these were sent to me by one person who's like, I have a bunch of IEMs. You want to try them? I'm like, are you okay? And he just dumped them in a box. And then he sent me all 700 stacks also. So it's like, all right, time to get these done so we can get that all back to him. Thank you, by the way. So what the hell did he send me? He sent me TFZs, 3 pair of those, a set of Mezes I haven't tried, a set of finals, and a set of Westones. So I guess we'll start with the... let's move these over and lift these up. TFZs. What does TFZ stand for? What do you think it stands for? It may as well stand for Taserface. Because you thought of that name? The Fragrant Zither. I'm not shitting you. I had to look it up and I'm like... the fuck? The Fragrant Zither. And then the is the T. So it's... Taserface. Taserface. So these 3 Taserface are available on Amazon, and they range from $40 to $60 to $83. And they're the 1S, because they go by series. So there's the 1 series, the 3 series, and the 5 series. And these 1 series are the S revision, which don't ask me to figure out what that means. I will say this, they are the prettiest of them. Look how red they are. All 3 of them are in the exact same shaped container. Let me get the same side so you could actually see it. They're all in the same shape. The weights vary, and the last ones are slightly different in the back and how they cap them. There's a thingy with thingy. And I guess I'm going to review these as a group. I'll try to keep this video to less than like 4 hours. I went in the order on the page to do my final listening, because I've listened to all of them individually over the weeks I've been ignoring them, and now it's time to sit down, plug them into the Tascam, and actually give my review. First thing I wrote down is, other than Taserface, is giant. These are giants. That is a big thing in the world of IEMs. Thick, and it's not, this one's not heavy, the 1's not heavy. The 3s you start getting that weight, and the 5s are continuing the same way. But it just is a big thing. And then, and this counts as a thing for all 3 of them, the way you put them in is odd. I don't like it. Look, it fits. The problem is, you got a headphone or an IEM like these Westones here, and they got that stiff bit right there, that curve you put over your ear. And I'm not a huge fan of that, but it works. And these want you to do that without that stiff bit. So they want you to just stick this in your, this is for the right ear, stick this in your right ear, then take this cable and then loop it over your ear, and then you're done. And it fits. And you pull the cable down, and it's, as long as you're pulling the cable down, it's fine. But I was looking left occasionally, and then this cable was going and just coming off the top of my ear, and then, oh, kill me. Kill me. And that happened for all 3 of them. So they really do need a stiffening thing, just so that doesn't happen. I'm okay with over-the-ear stuff, but you can't just go with like, yeah, the cable will probably, they're light. I like the cables. All 3, actually, I'd really like the cables. They're a chain link, what's that called? Not weave. Not weave. Are they weaved? Whatever. I like the cables. All 3 are the same. The 1 series here, I think the S might stand for Speciale. And they are just white. Why do I keep thinking weave? Yeah, they don't get tangled up, and then they go into a smaller braid. Boom! I knew my brain was going to kick in at some point today. So, they're braided cables. God damn it. And they go to a smaller, just twist. And then you got the little divider, and it's a little slidey son of a bitch, so you can keep them together for when you wrap them up. And you're going to be wrapping them up around your finger and then shoving into the little bags. This is all three of them. Come with just little bags with the Taserface logo on it. That's the symbol for Taserface. So you're going to be crunching them into a ball and hopefully not getting them all screwed up. Did this do a thing? Stop doing things. So I do like the cables. They all end in a 45-degree. Check that one out. See right there, Taserface. It's the letters are backwards, but Taserface wouldn't put them right anyway. So I said they're giant. I said they have a hook over wire, which is fucking annoying. The one thing I noticed about the TF2s, I'm sorry, the TFZ, the 1 series TFZs, is usually with cheaper ones, they'll have like treble problems, and I'll be like, oh, and it'll hurt. No pain. No pain with really all three of them. I'll describe. All right, let's see. But do I have to go into detail on individuals, or could I just give you the overall? So we've got the 1 series, which are the $40 ones, and then the 3 series. It's like BMW over here, and then the 5 series. They went with the BMW scheme. The cheapest ones are the warmest and the bassiest. That's the way this comes down to it. I put them in and I wasn't upset at what they were doing. They're doing IEM things. $40. They sound damn good for $40. In case you don't remember how I do these charts, I had to go back and look actually because it's been a while since I've done IEMs. TMBIW. And that's treble, mid-range, bass, imaging, and width, which could be soundstage. And 76878. So treble is a little down, and that's not just quantity, that's quality. That's an overarching number that 7 represents. Some of these have extremely too much treble. They'll still get a 7. So I like these as like this. They are the stock sound of a cheap IEM, but with really good detail, a little bit boomy in the bass. But I'll say this, of all 6 of these that I'm about to review, they have the most bass of all of them, including the Westones. Although the Westones had a problem fitting. So let's go up $20 more. What do these do? They get rid of that boomy bass. They are more neutral overall. Now the treble goes from 7 to 8, so better treble. The mid-range goes from 6 to 7, so better mid-range. So they're just overall getting better. And then the imaging and width actually reverse. These had very good width and just meh imaging. And that, I'll explain again. Width should be just how far away the sounds sound like they're coming from. If it sounds like it ends at the IEM or at your ear, it's got pretty bad width. We'll get to that when we get to the Westones. But, you know, it should sound bigger than it is. It's like a headphone. You put a headphone on, and if it sounds like it's coming from the headphone, it doesn't have very good soundstage. But if it sounds like it's coming from beyond the headphone, oh. And then imaging is how much diversity there is between the 2 sounds. So you got left sounds, right sounds. You're going to have center sounds where it plays. But then you got to get all this space between the center and the left and right. If it could move the sound around there, then that's good imaging. And this did not have very good imaging, but had very wide width, and that's usually the way it goes. So reverse those numbers for the 3 series, where it had better imaging. Things were happening more, but it was in a much more confined, a slightly more confined space. And then let's move off of the 3 series right up to the 5 series. The 4-door. Move you. These sound thinner, and that's because the bass goes from an 8 to an 8, but less to 7. So we're going up in price. Now these are $83, and the bass has probably hit true neutrality. I don't know if it's true neutrality, but it's neutral enough that I'm like, all right. But it's not. I wanted more. Once I wanted more, that means you've taken away too much. However, instead of getting a 7 and 6 for treble and mid-range, and an 8 and 7 for treble and mid-range, these get an 8 and an 8. So they've improved that. The detail comes up. You could hear that it is the best of the group for this Taserface brand. They do require more power though, because I'm running it off the Tascam, and I set this to like there, and then I set everything midway, and I'm just changing them out. And on this pair, we're running at like 1:30, almost 2 o'clock, so more power. Whatever they've got going on, they needed the power. Most great strings. Oh yeah, what was one thing I wrote a little note because Rodrigo and Gabriella came on, and it was just like, oh, guitar. So with that, better treble, better mid-range, and less bass, lesser bass. Strings, classical, sounded phenomenalness. And now, the final thing that makes them worth $83 over the 40 and the 60 is imaging and width both get 8s. So this is 8.8, 7.88. That's pretty good for an $83 pair versus a 60 versus a 40. I like them. I just hate that wire thing over the. It's the worst. Is it the worst system? No. There's been worse systems. In fact, the final audios that are about to come up are probably the worst system. So let's move you guys over. You performed admirably. And if I had to choose between the three of them, you were either getting the 1 series or the 5 series. I mean, do you want more bass? You get these. Do you want the cleanest detail you can be offered? Here is the 5 series, but you lose the bass. So I guess you'd still even have an option of getting the 3 series, which is sort of like half and half. I don't know. Let's move on. Do the Mezes. Come on, Meze. Now these are the 12 classics, and these have wood. The ones I reviewed were the Neos, which were metal, and that's legitimately a ring of wood. And I'm pretty sure that is the structure internally too. It's not just for pretty. And if you notice, I mean, the reason I said these were giant is because, holy shit. I get a contrasting background. Although it's going to blow the camera out, which is why, by the way, everything is black in this room. It's not because I'm goth, it's because the camera will go weird if there's white things on screen. So, I mean, look at the, just the size difference we're looking at. How are these in the same category? But they are. Over. Mezes. They won the last shootout, and these are probably going to win this shootout. And here's the kicker. They are a 4-pole, right? See the 4-pole? Because it's got the microphone and the button. And the adapter I was using in here, when I plugged it in to do the final listen, it was pushed in too far, and it sounded terrible. I was like, what happened to Mezes? Oh man, I remember these being better than this. And then I realized when I put in a song and it was just like the left channel was playing through both. I pulled that out, and it fixed it. And I went, oh, they're gonna win again, just immediately. It wasn't like, okay, now they're going to compete, no, it was just they're going to win again because. The cable isn't braided. The cable is a straight, I don't know if you want to call this silicone. I like it a lot. It just is. It isn't a cheap cable. I would accept this braided as a headphone cable. Goes into a bespoke Meze metal split to more smaller versions of that cable, and then you get the little pod with the microphone, which is the only way. I wrote down one of my first things was, again, they don't do left and right indicators well, but since you've got that, you sort of, there it is, that's the right. It's always going to be the right. If you didn't have that to look at, you got to look at a very small print right there of just the letter R sticking out of that silicone. I love the shape and size and the way these fit. They just you ready? I'm now wearing them. I need to take them out, and now they're out. They're the perfect shape for an IEM. They're the perfect. These, I mean, they're doing lots of space in this, and you gotta do the thing over. But if you can get this sound out of this size, then why? Let's talk about actually how they sound. All right. They have a woody quality with a slight echoey bass. What the hell are you talking about? See, I fucking wrote that. Were you fucking stoned? Maybe. No, not really. I put on a song that I've listened to a million times, and I was listening to it, and I'm like, and it was like a and I heard an echo, literally heard an echo in the background that I've never heard before. And I'm like, I checked the wire again in case it was some sort of weird bullshit. Then I unplugged it, and I was using my Pleno D here to do individual testing because I can't trust the Tascam to be perfect for every set of IEMs. So little portable comes out, something with nice low end power, or low power end. I don't know. They are a great, as good as the 5 Series sound here. They were still lacking bass. So imagine the good things I said about the 5 Series in these, then add the bass back, and then just give them just a little, like a sprinkling of wood magic. And I don't know if it's the wood, all right? It just is, and I'm sort of like, it's got to be the wood. They're the best size. They have detail for days. Do you want to know the numbers? So the numbers on the Meze are 99788. 7 for the bass, because it isn't a lot of it. It's actually 7 is what I gave the Taserface 5 Series. But it's a warmer bass. It's not as much. It's like I want a little more, but no, I don't. I don't really want any more than that. Imaging 8 with 8, which is as good as the high-end 5 Series there. The 9.9 mid-range treble is why you buy these. It's why I own a pair of, not this, but I have the Neo ones. That's why they won the last round. Because they have stellar detail, enough bass, and just overall are just the best. They're the best ones here, right? They're just the best ones here. But we have to move on still, don't we? Now, I was doing these in order when I did the writing of this paper. And the next pair that I had to write about was these finals. And I've never had a pair of final IEMs. And these are the Heaven 3s. Oh, by the way, here's the Meze case, look. The little adapters and probably someone else's ear dander. I like the Meze case. Here's the final Heaven 3s. And here's the little box that comes in. And here's all the tips. And there's a warranty card. And here's your receipt. And he got it from Massdrop for $72. And I wrote down 80 because that's what it cost to ship. No, I wrote down 70. 80 was the Meze's, my bad. So around 70, he paid 72. Massdrop exclusive because I can't find them anywhere else. You can find the 2s and you can find the 4s. You can't find the Heaven 3s. So what the hell are the Heaven 3s? Well, start off, the Meze's got a straight cable. The final here has a 90, which a very small 90. Like, I'm impressed. I am fully impressed by that very flat 90 that goes into a double thickness, and it's so strange, flat cable. Like, there's a crease down the side of it. So it's a flat cable with a crease down the side of it. And that's so that left and right can be separated after this just normal plastic thing with a strain relief. And then you have the extra flats. So I like the cable, man. It's so thin feeling here. Like, it feels, this is thinner than any linguine. As an Italian, I could tell you, or half Italian, I could tell you that the linguine is very thin. It's very thin linguine. So what are we looking at for the actual design, though? See, that's where it's starting to get a little funky. Heavy metal. So like those were heavy, these are heavy. But they're heavy in this shape, and I'll pull a tip off. They are a cylinder with not quite a 45, probably a 30-degree angle on that. And it's just metal. It's just metal. It's just heavy, cold metal. And you stick on your tip, which can be a pain in the ass because I don't know why they designed it like that. And it's raining outside. Ugh. All right. Let's look at this, right? You're looking at that? You're looking at that? Now let's look at the Meze, which I say is literally perfect. And we'll compare the two. All right. Do you see the difference? You see what's going to happen here in a second? Because the tips are roughly the same. You see how fucking deep? This is like double. It's double depth. And you're thinking, well, you don't have to, what does that have to do with anything? Just put it until it's comfortable. The problem is, since these are heavy metal cylinders, you put them in. If I put them into the same depth as the Mezes and let go, this whole thing falls down like that. Because of the weight and because it's cantilevering the wire all the way past where the hell it needs to. That's why the Mezes again are perfect, because it's just wire is as the wire touches your inner ear and then just sits there, it doesn't bother you. This wire could never touch your ear, and you have to keep pushing this son of a bitch in further and further into your ear so that it eventually will rest somewhere where it's not tilting down. So, heavy metal, flat cable, deep, tight seal. I did not like the way these felt. These felt like they were violating me. That's too deep. You're going too deep. Too deep. Too deep. It didn't have to be this way. It could have, if they bring this wire thing forward, it wouldn't be as off kilter. But I put it in and I'm like, oh, I'm comfortable. Oh wait, she just starts sagging, and I shove it harder and harder and harder until it actually fits. And it just feels really bad having them so deep in your ear. Some people get off to that, I'm sure, but not me. Next step, since they're so deep, and again, I tested them with them just barely hanging out. I'm not an idiot. A little bit hanging out, but then they wouldn't feel right. They would definitely need to be shoved in more. So all these other things I'm about to talk about happened all over the place. Over detailed to the point of being annoying. When I first put them in, I was like, oh, they sound like the Meze. I'll just compare them to the Mezes. So I put them in. The song was playing, and I just took out the Mezes because they fall out. I shoved these in my ear, and I'm like, all right, the same song's playing. How are these different than the Mezes? Because I love them. And it's like, well, they don't sound too bad. Maybe a little bit stranger on the bass, and then the detail, and then the detail, and then the detail. Now, fuck. It was like the M50 school of detail delivery, where they just shove it right in your face. So at first glance, it's like, oh, these are very good, and I like them. Hell, I gave the treble and mid-range 8 and 9 for these. Because it is there. There is just so much of it. It is so deep in your ears. It's got that, make your eyes. I was actually getting uncomfortable listening to music. Anything that was heavy-duty music, uncomfortable. But I couldn't knock the mid-range and treble because it was there. It was clean. There was just so fucking much of it. There was a ringing almost. I wrote the bass in these gets a 7, by the way, which is another strange thing. It's it was there, but it wasn't good. And I put ringing next to bass, even though the bass wouldn't ring, but it just, I don't know, it had this sound that did not flash my pan. Also, and this is the killer, is the imaging and width both get a 7. They didn't impress, even though it's an inch deep and it could probably have a chamber in there. It did nothing. It did nothing. Imaging and width were mediocre. Everything above it beat it for imaging and width. And then we're going to get to the last thing. So, I love the cable final. I like the metal. I like the feel of it, just not the fit. The finish is great, but not the fit. So let's move on. I also don't think you get a portable case. I think they just give you the box. So the most expensive thing he threw in the bundle was a set of Westones, which I've done a couple in the past. They pretty much all come with this case, although I proved that that's already bullshit because there was a $15 one that came with it. They again have a braided cable with a right angle connector. Not as awesome as the final one, but it's alright. I almost prefer, it's got a good flexible head. Giggity. Braided, 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 braided. I untwist it. Look, you can untwist it if you want to be a real dick. And then this goes to this probably a slightly overly large Westone branded split, where it goes to 2 individual cables. I think they're not too short. I was going to say this is too short, but I think this is probably horn beepingly fine. Now, these are the most expensive pair, and they're another mass drop exclusive, which is why when I got them and I'm like, oh, he sent me some Westones, and all I had to go with was this weird thing that I didn't realize was 30 for a while. And so, okay, look up 30, and 30s are another mass drop. I don't know if they're exclusive. I didn't write exclusive because, I mean, I found them places, but it's really weird. When I go to put these in, no matter what tips are on them, they don't fit. I've got special ears, in case you haven't noticed. I'm not insured or anything, but a lot of times I'll have to play with tips and different sizes on different sides to really get a good seal going and review something. And I couldn't get these to fit. Fundar. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. And they didn't fit, not because the tips are wrong. There was a plethora of tips to choose from. They didn't fit because there's bad geometry in this design. So you see this hook thing that looks like it's supposed to go over the ear, and then you're supposed to go. So yeah, you go over the ear, and then you pop this in. I can get it to go in my ear, and it fits beautifully. It's comfortable and everything. Doesn't make a seal. Doesn't seal. Nothing sealed. I have to have this. This is a very small tip, by the way, very small. If I put this tip all the way on like you're supposed to, it'll never work. I had to pull it off till there's like only 30% holding this massive tip on, because this is not a normal tip. This is a gigantic foam tip. It's huge. It's the extended one. That I don't know if they're not Complis, but there's short ones like this, and then there's long ones like this. And I had to pull that off and use the long one. Ah, screw it, we'll play some white stripes. And then I was like pushing on it with my fingers to get it to seal properly. And it took me a while to figure out that having this hook over my ear and sort of direct that up like it's doing currently was the problem. I had to unhook this from my ear and then literally twist like that and forward to get it to go in my ear properly. Now this is, again, could just be me. I'm sure if they didn't fit anyone's ears, there'd be a fucking recall on it. Or people would all be running to ENTs and figure out, what's wrong with my ears? What's wrong with my ears? So after about 10 minutes of fiddling with the damn thing, I figured out, okay, I gotta have it not over my ear, and I gotta use these giant tips, and I gotta have them pulled all the way out, and I gotta twist them in sort of up and down. And then I was able to hear him. 9 treble, 9 mid-range, 7 bass. Same as the Mezes. The difference being this has no width. No width. Has 9 imaging though. So here you go. 9 treble, 9 mid-range, 8 imaging. 9 treble, 9 mid-range, 9 imaging. So for triple the price, you're going up 1 notch in imaging. It's good imaging. I mean, it's really, you could follow things across wonderfully. But the width is only a 7. So what's worth more to you? Having good accurate imaging like this, or having a little bit wider width? Because it's always almost a trade-off. The only thing that doesn't trade off, something like the I sign, which doesn't count as an IEM, so I don't get to talk about it here. In fact, I got to put money in a jar. So these are too expensive for the issues I was having. They sound, once you get them seated, I wish the bass was better. If that bass was an 8, they'd win this shootout. Despite the not fitting my head, because I can't go on my head. My beautiful magic head doesn't fit. Giggity again. They're easy to drive. I never had to move the dial on that. I didn't have to move the dial on the finals either. So what did I do with the Mezes? Mezes were fine. The only ones that were really hard to drive were the Series 5. They were the only ones I had to actually tweak. There's a slight difference between the 1 and 3. But the 5s were like, oh, I really have to turn this up. Everything else just sort of worked, like you expect from an IEM. No width, great clarity, easy to drive. They have a nice case. I mean, I don't know how much this case is worth to you. If it's worth 3 times what the Mezes cost, it's not to me because they're gonna take it again. I don't hate these. It's just they pissed me off for 15-20 minutes, and I'm just like, why don't you fit? And then they fit. Granted, it's stupidly, but they fit. I gave these, I think, you know, I have to, the way I sort of judge it for myself is when I put this chart and I write all the things down, and I'm like, all right, first time I put them in, what am I writing down? What's the most important thing? And they're like, this one, no left and right are easy thing. This one had more depth. This one was like treble, mid-range, 9, 9. That was, I just didn't even write anything on the side about them not fitting. Once I got them to fit, 9, 9. So, sound is very good on them. It's just the other things let them down. Sound, imaging, with bass, I like a little more, like, I put on some Dead Mouse, which is severe clubbing stuff, but I know I've actually tested it, audio shows. What was it, the JBL booth with the 312s, the coaxial, and I don't remember. I had the Cephi 49 whatever song, and it was really chest-pounding bass. And I didn't get chest-pounding bass out of, well, nothing got higher than an 8 in bass. Yeah, this roundup, nothing here had bass worth noting. None of them. So hopefully the next roundup, which is when we're going to start, I have enough IEMs piled up over there to do 2 more roundups. One's going to be cheapos, and one's going to be, goddamn, these are expensives. Probably all $300, $400, $500 IEMs. That's coming up. This one will obviously go out first. And the winner, chicken dinner, again, the other set of Mezes. And how do they compare to the Neos? More woody. That's literally it. Meze knows what they're doing. They're not going to change the sound substantially between different models. It's just a slightly more woody tone compared to my Neos. We done here? We done? Take this, add it to the history books. Wallpaper download in the description. Links to all of these in the description. There's a Patreon link to support my efforts in the upper right hand corner. It'll also pay to ship this and everything else back to the owner. And insure it, because I need to insure everything. There's no getting around that. And thanks for watching.